Yo, what is going on? Welcome to another edition of NBA Nightcap, where we cap the games for the next day. Today is March 30th. We'll be capping tomorrow's games, March 31st. First and foremost, let's go ahead and recap yesterday's picks, well, today's picks actually. We went 3-2 plus 0.75 units. Just a quick recap here. We took. Let's just start off with our 1 unit plays. We took the Cavs at +2. Man, I thought if there was a spot where the Cavs needed to win, it would have been this game, catching the Mavs with the rest advantage, and this game meant more to them than it did for the Mavs, and I thought maybe this would be a flat spot for them, but Mavs are just a better team. They're just shooting lights out from the arc. So bad read, possibly. We just have to take an L on that one, but I did learn a lot. I think Cavs right now is just pretty much stay off for the rest of the season. It's really tough to back these guys without their starting front court in Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen. So we take the L there. Possibly the wrong side, bad read. Then we had the Heat. Man, I wish I would have put a little bit more in this game. We had the Heat +5.5. I actually really like the Heat. As the day went by, I actually dropped a personal play on Twitter. Heat money line. I took Heat second half, cashed all that. Really like the Heat. I guys explained yesterday, guys. The Heat coming off a terrible homestand, first game on the road trip, super motivated after the get right game. I thought they'd come out here and take care of business against a Robert Williams-less Celtics team. Like I predicted, it was going to be a playoff atmosphere game, low scoring. It's just +5.5 there is just too many points. So not only that they covered that, they went straight up. So good read there. Hornets -3.5. I really liked the Hornets yesterday as well, but I was hesitant on putting more units on that just because they're playing the Knicks, but they did take care of business. Pretty competitive game until the end. As you know, guys, the Knicks implode in the fourth. We cashed that -3.5 Hornets play. Super sweaty, though. I'm not going to lie. That wasn't easy. And then it goes to our 1.5 unit plays yesterday. We cashed the Raps -2.5. That was an easy one, wire to wire. Felt super good about the Raps. Put a money line pick out there as a personal and cashed them second half as well. Love the Raps in that spot. As the last game on the homestand is a strong bet on spot. And then we had the Grizz -5, man, guys. I really like this one too, but the Grizz were covering, I want to say, like 75% of that game, guys, and they just let these boys come back. The thing about the Spurs, I watched a lot of the games, man. This is a young team, and they continue to fight. They don't give up. And DeJounte Murray is just a bucket, guys. What can he say? I think we take the L there. Bad read? I don't think so, guys. I think the price was right for the Grizz. They were covering most of that game. I still felt like we were on the right side. We just got burnt. In that fourth quarter, those boys were hitting all their shots. I mean, sometimes we get the bad bounce, and this is one of them. And I still think we're on the right side there. Overall, guys, we go 3-2 plus day, so I'll take it. If you guys were following the personals on Twitter, we had a pretty big day. Went 10-5 overall. Plus, we cashed. I gave out. This was only for the Discord only. I gave out that 3-leg parlay at +566 odds on that 3-way with the Heat, the Grizz, and the Raps, and that was pretty easy. We got that one. So moving on, guys, let's move on to tomorrow's slate, starting off with Philly going into Detroit. Philly is laying double digits on the road. As soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, I'm passing on this one, because I was actually interested in playing Philly here off the L2, but it's just way too many points. Way too many points. Just a quick shout out to the chat. What's up, Amar in the chat? James, what's up, my dude? Cavs are poverty. Yeah, it's just Cavs, I can't take them rest of the season. Can't find anything tomorrow's card. Looking for your insights. Yeah, guys, I'm not gonna lie. Tomorrow's card is kind of ugly. I'll let you guys know. I only got 2 plays tomorrow, and they're just 1 unit plays. So I'm not gonna force anything, especially off a plus day. I want to take it light tomorrow. I'm not gonna force it. First time I've seen them backdoored. Yeah, exactly. With the Grizzlies guys, usually when these guys are blowing, teams out, they don't let off. This was like one of the few times I've seen them kind of let a team come back. But I like the way they played, man. I still like the Grizzlies in that spot. Nothing fishy about it. I love fading Pistons here, contrarian, and Thibault should take care of Cade, says James. Detroit allowed 3rd most points to shooting guards. Yeah, guys. I mean, just to briefly go through this game, Detroit's holding 75% of the tickets and 98% of the money. Again, don't take these numbers with too much weight because it's early. So I could imagine this is a small amount, small sample size of what the tickets are already placed. So we'll get a more accurate number tomorrow, guys. I'll try to drop them in the Discord. But I can already see Detroit here being a public dog. And you know how I feel about public dog, guys. It's kind of a red flag. You really don't want to be on the same side as the public dog. And I have a feeling Detroit will be a public dog here. They are coming into this game 41-33 ATS, 3-2 their last 5, 7-2-1 their last 10. Cade Cunningham is a baller, guys. I've been cashing his over props like the last 2 or 3 times, and I'm probably going to look. I actually don't know because that boy Thibault he's got clamps. I would imagine Thibault is going to be on Cade. Maybe if you guys do like Detroit, maybe look at Sadiq Bey over. He's been going under, but the boy Pat says Detroit allowing 3rd. Oh wait, that's Detroit. Yeah, I don't know about Sadiq Bey. I wouldn't touch any Detroit props honestly tomorrow. If there is one, I'd probably go back to the well with Cade, but I think Philly will be playing really good defense against these guys. Again, Detroit. They've been covering, guys. They've been covering like the last 15 games. They just lost to Detroit. They were like double digit underdogs. I mean, man, I feel like low key that was kind of free money. If you were a Detroit backer, that's like automatic seeing Detroit as a double digit favorite underdog there. But I was actually leaning Brooklyn that game to get right. But man, it seems like Brooklyn. Kyrie's finally, getting more games under his belt. He doesn't have that extra rest, not being able to play at home. So you could kind of see in that following game against New York, or against what am I talking about? They just played somebody recently and they lost at home, and you could tell Kyrie was flat, tired legs, and Detroit, man, they've been covering games. They've been keeping everything close. Single-digit losses in the past 3. They beat Atlanta before that by double digits. Super competitive. And then we got Philly here coming in this game. 36-38 ATS. 2-3 the last 5. 3-6 their last 3-6-1 the last 10. Philly coming off 2 losses. We faded them with the Bucks. We cashed that Bucks ticket last game. That was pretty easy money. This Philly team, man, they seem to start out pretty strong in these games, and they seem to implode in that second half. Seen it happen against the Suns and the Bucks, but this should be a get-right game for them, guys. I could see Philly here taking care of business, blowing these boys out, double digits. Should be a get-right spot. They seem to win games they're supposed to win. They beat the Clippers by 25 prior to that. Beat the Lakers but didn't cover. So I don't know. I'm not Philly is kind of they're kind of inconsistent and too high of a variance team for me to put my money with them as double digit favorites on the road. But if I were to lean somewhere and force a pick, I would probably go Philly, but just slightly. But man, Cade Cunningham, he's a baller. He could keep these boys in the game and maybe stay within that number. So if you like Detroit rather than maybe taking double digits, I would probably just go back to the well with Cade over, because for these guys, for these boys to cover this number, Cade has to have a good game because they don't have Grant, right? Sadiq Bey hasn't been playing well. So again, if you like Detroit, honestly, the better look is to take Cade over points. The dude is a baller, dude. And I mentioned this in the last stream. Take over points on these rookies. Like Jalen Green continues to go over his prop points. These guys are in that rookie of the year race, and they're trying to show out. Evan Mobley's injured, so it's really down to these two guys. Scotty Barnes, he's been kind of on and off. But, man, I wouldn't blame you just riding these Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green props. Pistons love the backdoor. I can see it, guys. Moving on, guys. Got no play on this. It's a pass for me. But, again, a lot of the tickets and money right now are on Detroit. I could still continue to see that tomorrow. So let's move on to the next game. We got Milwaukee going into Brooklyn. Milwaukee is getting a point on the road, and this is my first official play, guys. I'm gonna take the Bucks plus 1.5, and I'm not gonna make anything official tonight. I'm gonna post my officials tomorrow, just in case any injury news happens. But I'm most likely gonna take the Bucks here at plus 1.5. Brooklyn is coming into this game 30-44 ATS. They're one of the worst ATS records right now. 2-3 last 5, 5-5 the last 10. They're coming off a win, last win from Detroit. And man, I watched that game, and these guys struggled to beat these boys. Detroit actually led the first half, and Brooklyn had to come back. And Cade, that boy Cade, kept them in the game. Prior to that, they lost to Charlotte, which we had them there. They beat Miami, lost Memphis, and Brooklyn's kind of burned me a couple times the past 5 games. We had them against Memphis, and we had them against Charlotte. They both lose that straight up. Milwaukee, on the other hand, coming in here 36-39 ATS, 3-2 their last 5, 7-3 the last 10. Big win on the road against Philly. They won by 2, but there was a back and forth game, but Milwaukee took that one. Drew is a game changer. He was back this game. He wasn't there when they played Memphis when they lost to 25. Drew is huge, guys, especially on the defensive end. He makes those clutch plays, and I believe he's back. As far as injury news, I think everyone's good to go here. Milwaukee is holding 45% of the tickets at this point, and we don't have any data on the money, so probably not many bets in yet. Where do I see this line moving? I don't know, guys. I really don't know. Maybe we'll see some love on the Brooklyn side, but I'm not sure. But a couple key points here why I like the Bucks. This would be Nets' 4th game in 6 nights, and we know, guys, these guys are not a young team. Fatigue is starting to catch up to them. Bucks are 7-0 straight up, and 6-1 ATS the last 7 games against the East. So they seem to take care of business within the conference. Bucks are also 10-4 ATS last 14. 3 of those losses were to the West. And the Nets are 8-28 ATS at home. All signs here point to the Bucks. This price is super cheap. Kind of how I feel about them when I took them against Philly. I feel like this is, again, a pretty cheap price. Against Brooklyn, I really don't see how Brooklyn could win here unless KD and Kyrie both go bonkers. But I think they both need to have a really good game to beat these boys. So I took the Bucks here at plus 1.5. Probably going to put a 1 unit play on this. Let's see if you guys are feeling the same way. James says Brooklyn is the auto fade. Amar likes Bay over 3s. Yeah, 3 for the public bet on the Pistons. Bucks and KD over easy. Nets to play defense. Bucks allow second most rebounds to power forwards. I don't think that really matters, to be honest, but it doesn't help. Yeah, but I think we get We got some sneaky value on the Bucks since that boy Brook Lopez came back. Low-key revenge game against his old Nets team here. So, little hidden angle there, but sneaky value since he came back, guys. I think Brook Lopez coming back is a pretty decent impact on this Bucks team. This is a full healthy Bucks team, guys. This is a healthy squad. They got a lot of continuity. I think they should take care of business tomorrow. One unit play on that. I got nothing else to say. Let's move on. We got Cleveland Cavaliers going into ATL. The Hawks are laying 5 at home here. Hawks, man, they seem to be turning it around. The 33-43 ATS for the season. 4-1 their last 5, 5-5 their last 10, and pretty they're I was gonna say pretty impressive wins. Actually not. They beat OKC last game, which was today. They beat Indiana, they beat Golden State, and Golden State was just, they have been struggling during that road trip. So not very impressive wins here. Two of these teams are tanking. Prior to that, they lose to Detroit by 21 with a game they were supposed to win. So I'm not sold on the Hawks, guys. I'm really not. Cleveland, on the other hand, these boys have been costing me money, man. I was pretty high on Cleveland, but you know, this was a game against Dallas today that I said, hey, this is it. This is like this is your last chance, Cleveland, because you should get up and beat these boys here for a game that it doesn't really matter to them. Dallas is pretty set in stone of where they are in the standings. Cleveland, they need any game, every game they can. This is they're in that play-in spot right now. They come into this game 39-33 ATS, 0-5 ATS last 5, 2-7-1 their last 10. They lose to Dallas tonight by 8. They were keeping it competitive in the first half, and then that boy Dorian Finney-Smith, man, dude, that dude is nice. On both, he's a damn hell of a defender, and then the dude has been automatic from beyond the arc. So Dallas is just a class better than these boys. So am I surprised they took care of business there? No, I'm not. So this is going to be Cleveland's first game on the road after the 3-game homestand. They dropped 2 of those games, and they beat Orlando there. But man, these boys lost 4 of their last 5, and they haven't covered a game since March 18th. So not looking to back Cleveland here, guys. It's a pretty easy pass game for me. If I was a force to play here, I would probably have to go with the Hawks, to be honest with you guys. I think -5 is a pretty fair price. It might be a pretty sharp line. The Hawks they play better at home in 2018 ATS. As a home favorite, they're 17-15. And they both played today, so this is back-to-back for both of them. On back-to-backs, Cleveland's 4-7 and 2 ATS, and the Hawks are 4-10. So they both don't function well off back-to-back. So we'll see. If we look at their equal rest ATS trend, this is a bit interesting. Cleveland's 25-16 ATS with equal rest. The Hawks are 15-20. Trying to dig deep here and reach for something to lean either way, but it's tough. This one's a bit tough, guys. Cleveland has all the motivation here. Every game going forward is a must-win, and Atlanta is kind of on the same boat, so it's a pretty easy pass for me. The Hawks hold 94% of the tickets, 99% of the money, and this is a super small sample size, but I could see tickets and money still being on the Hawks tomorrow when everything settles. Line opened at -3.5. Wow, yeah, so that's already the line moved already 1.5 points. Yep. Everyone liking the Hawks. Yeah, man, I would go Hawks here as well. But I'm gonna tell you guys this, guys. I'm back in the Hawks a handful of times this season, and when everyone starts believing them, everyone's on them, it's a spot they should win, man, they end up folding. So just be careful. Hawks are just one of those teams that'll just kind of rip your heart out, so be careful with that one, guys. I'm off this game. Next one, we have LA Clippers going into Chicago. Chicago's laying -3.5 at home. And this will be my second and last play for tomorrow. I'm looking to take the Clippers at the number +3.5 for a unit. And not much stats or trends that will back this pick up, except for the fact, I watched the last game and these boys look energized with PG back in the lineup. I think we could get some value for the rest of the season as long as PG plays. I like the Clippers as underdogs here in this role. Bulls are zero. Let's start from the top here. Bulls are 40-35 ATS going into this game. They're 2-3 their last 5, 4-6 their last 10. Bulls haven't really been covering games, guys. They've been on this very long road trip. It was a 5-game road trip. They've won 2 out of the 5. Covered ATS as well, 2 out of the 5, and they come back home here. Usually when teams go back home after a long road trip, I like to fade them, and also depends on how well the road trip went. In this case, it was kind of they dropped 3 and 1-2, but they did come off a win, so I still would look to probably fade them here on the first game home. It's the reason why it's a pretty strong fade spot. These guys go on this long road trip, they come back home, they handle a lot of personal business, so their head may not be in the game, and teams often tend to be flat that first game. This theory may not apply so strongly here at this point of the season, because teams should be pretty motivated at this point and focused, right? This would work well maybe early in the season, middle of the season, but it's still a good fade spot here. But Clippers, on the other hand, they come into this 36-39 ATS, 1-4 last 5, 3-6 the last 10. These guys have been absolutely terrible prior to the last game in Utah, losing 3 games, double digits, and PG comes back, guys. What a game, right? We had Utah there, last minute addition. It's kind of my bad, guys, because I should have looked at the tickets and the money discrepancy for a last game on the slate that's nationally televised. I failed to do that before putting the ticket in. But good thing we middled that with a Clippers second half play. But man, what an implosion by the Jazz, man. They're up 20 plus points, but you guys know this Clipper team, if there's a team that's known for coming back from huge deficits, is this Clippers team, guys. There's some dogs on this team, guys, and they don't fold. And you're telling me, I get 3.5 here on the road. I think I like this spot here for the Clippers. As long as PG's back in there, he kind of boosts everyone up. And, after a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 game losing streak, and taking a win here, there's going to be a lot of motivation and a lot of momentum on their side. I like the Clippers here. It's going to be a 1-unit play for me. Currently, they hold 46% of the tickets and 81% of the money. Again, small sample size, but what do I predict tomorrow? I don't know for this one, because maybe I could see a lot of Bulls love too. Bulls are known to play better at home. Let's take a look at their trends. Let's look at their head-to-head match. Clips don't give up. Jazz -1 was too easy. Clippers allow second most points to centers as well as 5th in rebounds. Yeah, but Chicago doesn't really have that kind of big man to capitalize on that. Vooch is more of an offensive player, but Vooch has been balling out too. Chicago did take the only game they played this season back in November. It was a while ago, so revenge angle here for the Clips, but I don't really take the revenge angle with too much weight if it was a win earlier in the season. Let's take a look at the situational trends here. The Bulls are 24-12 ATS at home, 30-15 as a favorite, and as a home favorite, they're 20-7. So very strong trends for this role for the Bulls. As far as the Clippers go, they are 19-19 away. As an underdog, they're 20-19. As an away underdog, they're 14-13. So about like even ATS records for all those categories, but very strong trends on the Bulls. I could probably see the public on the Bulls, but I'm sorry guys, I kind of like the Clippers here. um and yeah, I'm gonna put 1 unit on it. I think that win is gonna give them a little boost, and maybe the Chicago will be a little flat here first game on at home. um is this game important to either team? I think Clippers, where they're at in the standings, is not going to matter to them. Um, I don't think. And then as far as the Bulls go, they're already set in stone too, I believe, at where they're at in the standings. But before I confirm that, I'm gonna double check. Give me a second here. So the standings in the West, the Bulls sit in 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth right now. So as long as they could stay, they're only worried about is getting out in seventh. So they want to stay within that 5 or 6 spot. Right now, Cavs hold that 7 spot. So if this game's pretty important to the Bulls, because if they lose and the Cavs win, they could fall out. They could fall out of that position. So it is pretty important to them. For the Clippers right now, they're sitting in. Clippers are sitting in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're in 8th right now, and they don't really have a shot to get in that 6th spot. So they're for sure going to be in that playing game, but they definitely want to. This game doesn't really matter to the Clippers because they're in 8th right now, and if they need for them to fall to 9th, they have to lose a lot more games. There's a big discrepancy between 8th and 9th. They're at 36 wins right now. The Pels are right behind them in 9th at 32. So Chicago, this game is a little bit more important to Chicago, but I think the Clips will be motivated here with PG back. I'm gonna take the Clips, guys. Boots is a double, dude. Bulls can't be trusted. This game is a toss for me. Yeah, I gotta have Paul George in there to take the Clips. I wouldn't be surprised if he plays. I don't see why they would sit him. They need him in there to get some minutes with the first unit. So I like the Clips here, guys. The last game on the slate, we have the Lakers going into Utah. Two teams, guys, that just cost everybody money. Utah's laying 12 at home. Holy crap. They're coming into this game 31-43 ATS, almost as bad as ATS record as the Lakers. They're 0-5 the last 5, 3-6-1 the last 10. We definitely got burnt by them last game against the Clippers. Holy crap. How can I see anybody wanting to back Utah in this spot? I know Lakers are just can't back the Lakers either, but I think right now, currently, Utah's got to be on the wrong side of the public. There's got to be more hate for the Utah Jazz right now. 90% of the tickets last game against the Clippers. I could see a lot of people going to sleep at halftime, like hoping to wake up with a winning ticket because they thought they might have had that in the bag. But a crazy comeback by the Clippers. It was Jazz's last game on the road. Sometimes it could be the fade spot, but for me, it was a bet on spot there, considering their road trip has been atrocious. For this spot here, it would have to be a bet on for Utah for the first game home after losing 5 on the road. You would think Utah is motivated to win here. They're currently sitting 5th in the standings, so this game doesn't really, unless the Wolves sneak into that 7th spot, they could drop out of the seeding and possibly get in that play-in if they lose these next couple games. So this game is pretty important to them. As far as the Lakers, They still have a shot of this playing game. I think the Pels hold that 10th spot right now, and they're only one game behind them. So the Lakers still have a chance. But the Spurs are right behind them at 31 wins as well after tonight, or they lost tonight. But it's close, guys. The race in the West for that last spot in that play tournament is really close. So this is as important for the Lakers as well. Lakers are coming in here 31-44 ATS, 2-3 their last 5, 4-6 their last 10. They're holding 60% of the tickets at the moment, but only 12% of the money. So a lot of early money is on the Jazz. Lakers coming off a loss to Dallas by 18, and I swear these boys were up this game, or at least competitive the first half. And you know, of course, guys, are we surprised here that they imploded the second half of the game? Same way it happened. I watched them play the Pels too, guys. They were leading these boys the first half, and then they just shit the bed second half. So man, you cannot trust this Lakers team. For this game, it's an easy pass for me. Last game on the slate, probably nationally televised. But if I were to force a pick here, it's probably going to be Utah, first game home. It's such a big number though, so it's definitely not going to be a ticket for me. But it is a nationally televised game, TNT, last game on the slate. So if money is on majority one side or the other, I wouldn't blame you for going contrary and probably going the other way, because it's been kind of cashing lately, guys. If you guys notice the pattern here, especially these two teams are really sketchy. Maybe if one team's like down by 20, just live bet the team that's down by 20. You know, that's not a bad look. How does Utah function on the first game home after a road trip? That's a good question. The last time they came home after a long road trip is right here. They had a 5-game road trip, and it was a pretty bad one as far as ATS goes. They won 3 out of the 5, but only covered 1 out of the 5. They come back home on a get-right spot against Portland, and they blew those boys out by 38. We can see a similar thing happen here because Lakers are not as bad as Portland, but they're bad as well. If we go back a little bit farther here, Utah, another 5-game road trip. They come back home, and they actually drop that one to Cleveland by 20. Let's see if we can find another sample here. 4-game road trip, come back home to play Clippers. It's kind of a similar situation. They come back home, LA coming in, and the Jazz are minus 13 favorites. They took care of business 21 by 21. So yeah, if I would lean more towards Utah getting it right here first game home after this really bad road trip. And I think if I were to predict this, I think more money will be on the Lakers tomorrow as that double-digit dog, because public and big bettors probably have a bad taste in their mouth with the Utah Jazz. So when the public's against the Jazz, I could see the Jazz taking care of business here. That's just my opinion. Yeah, dude. I think this Lakers team is they're done, man. They're just mentally just not there, guys. They're just not. If Mavs were laying 11, Utah should not be laying 12. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I feel like Dallas, man, that was... I don't know why didn't we take Dallas in that spot. Dallas has been kind of cashing these past couple spots against these really bad teams. Mormon, I lean Jazz, Mormon Wafia. Jazz went big here. Yeah, I agree, guys. I kind of just see this game, Jazz taking care of business, blowout win, maybe a under, but Lakers don't play defense, so I'm not a totals guy. I can't really say much about the total. Otherwise, guys, that's all I got. Again, two official, not official tonight, but most likely going to make these official tomorrow. We have the Bucks plus 1.5. I'm most likely going to put a 1 unit play on this. It's just a bit of a fade the net spot, as well as backing the Bucks here at this price. The Nets this is their fourth game in 6 nights. You could tell, guys, the fatigue is showing on these boys. Bucks are 7-0 straight up and 6-1 ATS last 7 against the West. Against the East. So usually they take care of business against the East. So I like the Bucks. That's going to be official. The next official is going to be the Clippers, a 1 unit play plus 3.5. There wasn't too many stats or situational trends that back up this pick. For me, it's kind of what I've seen in the last game. As long as PG's in, I like to, when I'm kind of reading these ATS. When they're reading the ATS logs, when you see teams that are kind of like streaking and they finally get that first win, you kind of want to back them up that second game. And I'll give you an example. The Heat today against Boston, right? They were kind of on this losing streak or down, they were on a skid. They finally get right against the Kings. And so at that point, they kind of it's kind of like a switchback. Now they go the other way. So we want to back them the second game, and that's why we backed them against the Celtics. Although the Celtics is a really good team right now, but that's why I felt strong about the Heat. I kind of feel it here with the Clippers. They finally get that one win. Finally get that one win against Utah. So I expect them to use that, carry the momentum over against Chicago, who's covered against Washington tonight, but man, is it tonight? Yeah, or yesterday. But I don't believe these boys, man. Look at this. They covered 4 games in like their last 20, and yes, again, they're known to play well at home, but lately, guys, it's just I don't believe these boys right now. And I think they function pretty well coming home after a long road trip, but I like the Clippers here. I think I could see the money going to the Bulls tomorrow. So if I see money on the Bulls and tickets on the Bulls, I'll like my Clippers pick even more. So that's all I got, guys. No day show tomorrow. It's because it's such a short slate. I'll post my officials on Reddit and Twitter. Keep an eye out for those personal plays during the day, but most likely going to keep tomorrow light, and then probably get ready for the next day. I'm pretty sure there'll be a bigger slate the following day, so keep an eye on that. And it looks like a lot of people like the Jazz as well. So that's all I got, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Again, bet responsibly. Use this information and ultimately make your own decisions. Just here to help you guys out and share my thoughts. And coming off a winning day plus money, so hopefully we continue that tomorrow and maybe get a streak going. Again, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys on tomorrow's nightcap.